But yesterday, Jeff Van Gundy did a sit down with Mason Cameron's show on Mason Cameron's show called "Come and Talk to Me," and he was speaking to Mark Jackson, his former partner on television. And essentially what he was doing was he was basically, revealing what it was like to be fired at ESPN and really finding his way back into the NBA through Brad Stevens from the Boston Celtics extending an olive branch. And he was basically explaining what that entire process was like to Mark Jackson. So what we want to do now is we want to play exactly what Jeff Van Gundy had to say to Mark Jackson on him being fired from ESPN and what it was like, after that. And then want to come back and react to his comments. Take a listen to what he had to say here.
But I would like to know, seeing you and my father, Mike Breen, just the whole team, for years I watched you guys, and everybody loved what you guys had, which is such a special thing.
Not everybody.
Well, most of us.
Yeah. Okay.
But Coach, I want to know, what was it like just emotionally closing that door and moving into your next segment of life?
Yeah, I appreciate the question. I got fired on June 30th, and then my youngest Grayson went to school in August, so we became empty nesters. Then my sister-in-law tragically passed away in the middle of August as well, and my best friend in Houston contracted cancer and subsequently died this spring. And
I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah. And so for me, when I went to work for the Celtics after the World Cup last fall, I only knew Brad Stevens a little bit. And I was really in an awkward place in life, not really knowing, where I was going or what my purpose was or how I was going to be with this new group of people where I didn't know anyone. And quite frankly, it's been one of the most rejuvenating things I've ever gone through. Brad Stevens and Joe Mazzulla threw me a lifeline, and everybody on that coaching staff has welcomed me with open arms. It's a very young coaching staff. Sam Cassell is, I think, the oldest. There's no one else other than Sam that's over 40 years old. I have learned so much. I have been embraced and welcomed in. And the whole organization, from ownership to Brad's staff to the coaching staff, has just been remarkable. And I think...
So you heard what Jeff Van Gundy had to say there. What are my thoughts about that? Well, Jeff Van Gundy being fired from ESPN was a shocker to a lot of us, because I really enjoyed the job that he did with Mark Jackson covering NBA games, especially NBA Finals. I thought they were great, right? I thought they were really, really good. So to see ESPN get rid of Jeff Van Gundy was really, really, surprising to me. But, I guess it's part of the business. They let go of some other big names, as I mentioned before, Max Kellerman, Marcellus Wiley, who's a friend to the show. We have asked him on a couple occasions, what's that situation been like for Max Kellerman? And he basically said Max Kellerman is just sitting back collecting checks